Today I'm going to be opening up this washing machine to replace the carbon brushes. First thing you want to do is unplug the machine. And then at the back, you just follow the hoses to the water supply and close that tap. Once behind the machine, you want to unscrew the back. Most of the screws you'll find here will be regular Phillips screws. You might come across one or two Torx screws. I'm working on a Siemens Siwamat, but most washing machines have a similar build, so this can really help you as a rough guide. Then the back is just hanging on a couple of clips. You lift that up and move it out of the way. You can remove the hoses. I've decided not to do that, just being lazy. Now that we've opened up the back, here we can clearly see the drum pulley with the drive belt around it. Down here there's the motor on the motor spindle. At the back here there are some electronic wires, and the motor is connected with a couple of nuts. First thing, you want to take off the drive belt. It should be just as simple as pulling it off. Then unfasten the nuts and screws. You'll have to see what kind of spanner you'll need for that. I think in my case it was a 14 or a 15. Now you want to gently remove the electronic cables. I recommend that you have a closer look how they were connected so that you can slot them in properly again at the end. Once you've loosened the motor, it will be dangling, so give it a bit of shake. It might be a bit stuck. And then you should just be able to pull it out. It's nice and heavy. Right. Here we have the new carbon brushes. You can see they're nice and long. They're shiny. Here we can see where the carbon brushes are connected to the motor. They're in this plastic casing and connected with these wires. So you want to unscrew the plastic casing. In some cases you can open these up and work without actually removing the entire carbon brushes with their casing. But in my case, it's just going to be a lot easier to work, and I can't really avoid it. Once you've undone it, you will see the tip of the carbon brush, and that it's always touching the commutator at an angle. Try and remember the direction of the angle so that you can refit it later. Open up this plastic casing and disconnect the electronic wire. There's a little clip that you need to pull out and the old carbon brush will spring out. Here you can see how worn down this one is, and it's not shiny at all anymore. So it's quite probable that this is the problem. So this bit doesn't really want to come off. You might need to improvise here and there. Right, now you can slide the new carbon brushes in and fix it back with a clip. Unfortunately, I decided to buy a very cheap version online of the carbon brushes for this machine, and although it specified being for this particular machine, it didn't quite fit. It was about a millimeter too thick. I ended up just spending quite some time filing them down to size. I did end up saving around 20 euros maybe, so if you're doing this by yourself, you might just want to take that risk. And they did fit in the end. The spring makes sure that no matter how hard the machine is moving, the electricity is still conducted smoothly from the brushes to the commutator. Get the plastic back on. Sometimes things won't work as you want them to, so you might just have to force them. And then we can snap the carbon brushes with their casings back in place. Put the screws back in, tighten them. And reconnect the electric wire to the carbon brush. Repeat the procedure for the other side. Try not to get too violent while you're putting together your washing machine, but in some cases it just cannot be avoided. Click into place. Fasten the screws. This was the one I bent before because it wouldn't come off, so of course I'll have to work it again to make sure it fits. Et voila. And that's it. Here we go. Now we can climb to the back of the washing machine again, and we can go through our motions in reverse order. First of all, putting the motor back in place. Putting the nuts in. Reconnect the electricity the way you remember. And then we want to fasten the nuts tightly so that nothing jiggles. And finally get the drive belt back into place. You want to start at the bottom, put it onto the motor spindle first, place it over the top and then turn it until it basically snaps back into place. And then we want to put the back on. Fasten all the screws. Make sure it's nice and tight. And that's about it. We can reopen the tap. Reconnect to electricity. And throw in a load.